That sounds good. You know, better than I remember myself, so I guess it's nice to have a marketing department. And I see actually one of our former employees waving her hand who's now doing a startup in the audience. So it's cool to see everything expand. So from Point Inside's perspective, we started in 2009. It's always fun to hear kind of the genesis moment of how that all went down. We were, myself, I'm married, I have 4 daughters. At the time I had 3 daughters. And we were at Joey's downtown, although for the purposes of this conversation, since Joe's here, I should say 520 Bar and Grill, but we were sitting there and I realized that I needed to spend more time at home. I flew to California for work a lot, and ultimately sat down and just decided we wanted to start a company. And we were looking at Bellevue Square Mall, and we had figured that there was a good thesis that eventually you would have a map of that mall in your pocket, on your mobile phone. And so over lunch, we essentially designed a company. I subsequently quit my job, worked for no salary for 2 years while we hired employees, and this is a little bit about what we do. So flipping through the slides, and you'll see actually that we've got one little slide we got to swap in on this. So we've been at it for about 7 years now. We have around 110 employees. We are considered a enterprise SaaS company, so software as a service. But we had to pivot like any good startup. Originally, we mapped every mall and every airport in North America, and we thought that we could make a business out of that until little companies like Google and Microsoft did the same thing. And so we had to quickly switch strategies and figure out where could we map that they were not allowed to map. And ultimately, we chose that big box stores were the place that they were not going to be allowed to go because, quite frankly, Google and Amazon company. We pivoted about 3 years in, and we've been hugely successful at that. The basic use case for what we do, see where to point this, is as a shopper, you're very used to e-commerce. Everyone understands that model, but what they don't know is that over 92% of the products that are bought in your house actually come from stores. And so although e-commerce is this really wonderful thing, the reality is the majority of us still drive to a store, walk through the door, and check out at the end of the day. And so with the disruption that the mobile phone brought, there was a real chance and opportunity for you to have e-commerce-like experiences and tools, except for in a physical brick and mortar environment. And so it was a great thing for us to be able to connect associates and shoppers back into that physical experience of shopping. So whenever I see an Amazon box arrive at our office, I throw it out. We're very, very much in tune with the old-fashioned way of shopping, getting into the mall, browsing, meeting up with friends, stuff like that. So, but there are 3 basic things that you want to do when you shop. One is ask the fundamental question of, does the retailer have what I'm looking for? So we have search engines that answer that question for any retailer of any size. But we focus on the top 82. So that means anybody that's above $3 or $4 billion in sales a year. Second thing is if you have the products I'm looking for, are they on sale? Can I find something that has a deal or a discount? And then the third is, where can I find that in the store? And as you know, some of these big boxes are the size of aircraft carriers, and you can literally walk 2 or 3 miles in a single Walmart-style shopping trip. And so we solve all of that by giving you a personal shopping assistant on your phone, in your pocket, and it's always inside of the Target application or the Lowe's application or any of our partners' applications. So the reason why you don't hear about us is because we sit behind the scenes powering a lot of the experiences that these companies come up with. What's been successful as a company is that we feel like we do the right thing every chance that we have, which means we don't take a lot of credit. We partner to solve the problems for our partners. What that means is we have to find really talented, trustworthy, good employees. I'm a Bellevue person by just growing up here, but I come from a long line of Seattle folks. And so with 2 co-founders in Seattle and 1 in Bellevue, I've somehow won the war to end up in Bellevue. And we've fought that 4 times, moving from Factoria, right behind McDonald's, which is literally in a shack It was a wood structure right next to defensive driving, to Star Plaza, which is now being made into, I believe, a church, to right here, we actually had right across the street at the Bellevue Place, the 5th floor for a little while, and now we're at Bellevue City Center on the 22nd floor, next to the transit center, because it's very important for our employees to have quick in and out access. So as a company, we've touched over 100 million consumers, even though they don't know that it's us. We've helped them search for products in the store, find products in the store, find deals. It's been an exciting business. What we've been able to prove is that if you implement programs like this, then retailers like Target can start to have experiences that are Amazon-esque without having to give your data to our business over to Amazon. So in a lot of ways, we compete with them. Here's a slide that we're just going to swap out real quick. What it looks like is this. So what you can see is on your mobile phone, you have a map. You can enter in a shopping list via voice by saying things like milk, comma, bread, comma, pens, comma, bacon. And then we will route that list for you. And so that's something that's coming up with Target in second quarter, so you kind of saw it here first. It allows you to view all of the locations. One thing that we have been doing for a while that takes a while for our retail partners to understand is that they are worried about privacy, and I'm sure all of you are as well, and data breaches don't help in that process. One of the things about tracking shoppers is the retailer doesn't think it's a good idea. But however, think about every time you've seen a map. The next question you have is, where am I on that map? And so when you survey people, they actually get really mad when you show them a map and you don't show them where their location is on the map. So we live in a world where the consumer expectations are way ahead of what not only government, but industry, enterprise expectations are. So it's been a really fun business. Everything that Amazon offers you, we try to offer you except for in-store and on behalf of the retail partner. A little bit about us. We've been, like I said, covered and growing, 110 employees, 4 different locations. Every year we try to add 1 or 2 new partners that are north of 25 billion in sales. We support all of the Android phones, all of the iOS phones. Our company is made up largely of engineers. We're very focused on hiring women engineers. You can probably guess that's because I have 4 daughters and I'd like for them to have a shot at that. So we're ahead of the curve on a lot of that stuff. But we have our challenges, just like any company. It has been really hard to grow. A startup is not a foregone conclusion. There's a reason why the majority of them fail. But we're really proud of the fact that we didn't take any venture capital money. We did it the hard way. We bootstrapped it. We took money from here in the community. Every one of them should be getting more than 10 times their investment back. So it's been a very good, fun investment. Some of them are going to make 40 times that. So they should be excited, assuming everything goes well from here. So here's a quick video that kind of describes a little bit about how it works.
You're a retailer, and you know that mobile has changed everything. To remain competitive, you need a mobile strategy that leverages your 3 greatest assets: your customers, stores, and brands. Your customers use their smartphones to shop, to make shopping lists, compare products, prices, and more. Your stores are responsible for more than 90% of sales, and for good reason. But they're at risk as online and other competitors steal more business. Your brands are looking for better ways to reach customers, and they're paying billions of dollars to make that happen. To be successful, you need a mobile strategy that connects customers to your physical stores and to your brands at every decision point along the way. Also creates a significant new advertising-based revenue stream, increases your sales, and provides actionable new insights into how your customers shop. Using Point Insight's unique patented indoor location technologies, spatially aware engagement engine, and private ad network, you can finally do it right. Here's how it works. Meet Amy. She's at home using your store's app powered by Point Insight to create her family's weekly shopping list. She can type in items she wants or scan things in her cupboards. As her list grows, you're informed of what Amy intends to buy and can tell her about great deals and brands that she personally won't want to miss. Every time Amy clicks on one of these sponsored ads, your brands get great exposure, which they're willing to pay for. When her list is finished, she'll definitely be visiting your store. So what happens when Amy arrives at your store and is ready to shop? Typically, she's in a hurry. And of course, she'll be using her smartphone. This is where you can really help increase her basket size. You already know what Amy plans to buy from her shopping list and can use our powerful indoor technologies to show where the products are and highlight her most efficient route through your store. As she shops, you understand her preferences and use her in-store location to suggest additional products that she will want when they're nearby and easy to pick up. Brands will gladly pay you to present their offers to Amy. You, the retailer, get more sales. And Amy's happy with her deals, which boosts her customer satisfaction and loyalty. Now that you've got to know Amy, you have a great way to personally engage with her and all other shoppers at every decision point. Brands now have a better way to connect with customers. Everyone's happy.
I'd love to say it's as easy as that, but that's totally not the case. It's a lot of work. There's no doubt. A lot of things go into that, just like everything in life and that you do. You know, we're pretty humble in the sense that we have been very successful. We started out actually winning a Seattle University business plan competition right after that meeting that we had at Joey's. And ever since then, we've been able to hire engineers from local colleges and kind of move them up the ranks. So it's been a great company with a great community around us, but it doesn't come without challenges. Let me see. Not sure where to point this. There we go. So, like I said, we feel like we have a good location. We're very happy. We do have to move out in August of 2007. So hopefully we'll grow and need 2 floors at that point. We do use a lot of you guys as service providers. Obviously, we try to every decision we make, we try to keep it within the community, either here on the east side or in Seattle. In terms of our challenges, every startup will tell you that it's all about recruiting top talent. It's really hard for us to go up against the Amazons of the world who are offering $250,000 base salaries for a 2 or 3 year-in engineer. And so we have to compete with that at some level. Typically, the way we compete is inspirationally. We try to come up with a better story of why you want to work with us as opposed to Amazon. In addition to that, we kicked out 2 people last year back to their home countries because they couldn't obtain H-1B visas in the lottery. And that's something that you should all be aware of, because every time we lose one of those folks, we typically lose 2 more that were dependent, because those people were hired for a reason. They have special education that has actually helped them succeed, either masters or PhDs, and they mentor 2 other engineers. And so that's something that we got to fix as a country at a federal level. It's also important for us to have a relationship with the Chamber. Not only have they supported us literally since our birth by mapping the first mall for Bellevue Square, just so we could demo it to Betty and the Chamber. The original business model was built around the idea of getting chambers involved. And so it's been great to actually come full circle and join the Chamber and have them help us out, including with the transportation problem, which is a real problem. People at our company, specifically engineers, just aren't willing to pay the toll. They already have to pay so many different taxes, from parking to gas to all sorts of other things, just to get to work. And so it's becoming difficult for them to work, especially on the east side. I never thought that, I get why we have people from Seattle not wanting to come over to the east side, but from the east side to the east side, it shouldn't be a difficulty. And unfortunately it is. So we've been working really hard on a lot of that stuff. It's been great to be a part of the Chamber. Another thing that you should all be aware of as startups is that the venture capital pool in Seattle generally has fallen off. It started out at 15% back in the peak, and it's down to below 3% total. And the reason why is we don't support entrepreneurialism as much as we need to up here. It's not like a valley culture where everything that is successful in the valley goes and gets reinvested back into the community, and so we typically don't do that enough up here, so that's something we can do. And then I guess that's pretty much it. You know, if you have any questions or want to connect with me, there's my connection information. And thanks for having me.